He had no friends. He was always alone, moving through the neighborhood like a shadow no one really noticed. While other strays formed loose little groups, he stayed apart, silent, distant, carrying himself with a slow, careful gait as if the world had already taken too much from him. His fur was rough, his ears marked by old fights, and his eyes held the kind of sadness you don't forget once you've seen it. He never asked for food, never approached a human. But sometimes, in the quiet of the late afternoon, he would pause in the middle of the street and glance toward the houses, almost as if he was wondering what it might be like to belong somewhere. She first noticed him while sitting on her porch one cool autumn day. Day after day, she watched him slip between fences and hedges, keeping to the shadows. No one knew where he came from, and no one claimed him. And yet, something about him drew her in. Maybe it was the loneliness he carried, or maybe it was the way he lingered for a heartbeat before disappearing down the alley. At first, she assumed he was just another stray living on instinct, a survivor with no interest in people. But her curiosity became care, and that care turned into a quiet mission, one that would unfold slowly over the next year. It began with a simple bowl of food left on her porch. For months, he came and went without a sound. Sometimes she wouldn't see him for weeks and would wonder if he'd finally moved on or if something worse had happened. But then, one day, he would return, padding up to the porch as if no time had passed at all. One October afternoon, that trust finally reached its breaking point in the best way. He stepped closer than he ever had before, and for the first time, he took food straight from her hand. His body relaxed. He rubbed against her legs, nudged her hand with his head, and began to purr deep, steady, and sure. It was the sound of a guarded heart opening just enough to let someone in. Not long after, he returned with a swollen face, a painful abscess near his mouth. She knew she couldn't wait any longer. Gently, she scooped him up and took him to the vet. It was the start of his healing, not just of his body, but of his spirit. She told herself she was only fostering him until he recovered. But deep down, she already knew the truth. How could she let go of a cat who had once trusted no one, but now looked at her with the calm, steady eyes of someone who had found their person? So she kept him, and just like that, he moved in. The transition to indoor life came surprisingly easy. At first, she gave him his own room so he could adjust. Every time she entered, he would greet her with a low rumble of purrs, gentle head bumps, and the slow rhythmic kneading of his paws against a blanket. It felt like he was saying, "I've been waiting for this, I've been waiting for you." She worried about introducing him to her other pets, especially her older cat. But within a day, the two were curled up together, sharing the same patch of sunlight as if they had been friends for years. One afternoon, she left the back porch door open. The yard was fenced and safe, and he could have wandered out if he'd wanted. He stepped outside, took a deep breath of the fresh air, and then turned right back around to walk inside. No hesitation. No glance over his shoulder. He had made his choice. From that day on, he never tried to leave. Even when she went in and out with the dog, he would simply watch from the window with a quiet, content gaze that seemed to say, "I'm not going anywhere, I'm home now." People sometimes asked her why she would adopt a feral cat. Was it worth the trouble? And she always answered the same way. When an animal who's never trusted anyone chooses to trust you, that's not something you walk away from. Because wounds don't always mean something is broken. Because even the most guarded hearts can learn to love again. And because every soul, no matter how lost, lonely, or overlooked, deserves a home. Mash, as she named him, had been a ghost in the neighborhood for years. Now, he was part of the family. He slept in the softest bed in the warmest corner of the house. He followed her from room to room, his tail curling with quiet affection, and on winter evenings he curled against her side, his purr deep and steady, as if each sound was a thank you whispered in a language only the two of them shared. For her, the gift wasn't just in rescuing him, it was in realizing how much he had rescued her too. He reminded her that love often comes softly, without grand gestures or perfect timing. It arrives in the form of small steps, patient waiting, and a quiet heart deciding it is finally safe to open. She used to think she had saved a lonely, broken cat. Now she knew the truth. They had saved each other. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to share it with someone who loves animals or someone who might need a reminder that second chances are worth giving. Like this video, subscribe for more real stories of love and rescue, and help us spread kindness one tail, one paw, and one heart at a time. Because you never know, your porch, your bowl of food, your open door might be the start of someone's forever home.